Hi, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. I just finished this lovely journal that I made out of a book from 1884 called The English Orphans. It's still here on the spine, but I did cover the title on the front just to add some of this trim and this vintage button here. And the design it's actually quite beautiful. It almost looks Art Deco, but it's before that time. So I had to do a little bit of repair work on the spine on the inside so that I could leave the outside as intact as possible. So I just added a couple of vintage beads here and some vintage keys that are on the ribbon that I acquired them on. And I just think it's really super fun. So let's take a look inside. Everything in here, and it is packed with antique and vintage ephemera. I don't use anything commercial. If you follow me, you're probably sick of me saying that, but I feel like I need to say that just to remind people. I kept the original first pages in the book here. And they're brittle, so, you know, through the years they may tear. But if they do, just tuck them right back into a pocket or glue them down because they're quite special to stay with the original book. Here's a fun little postcard. It's very colorful, and that is from the early 1900s. I really like it. Little hidden journaling spot up here, and a 1920s banknote here that expires in 1978. Expired. I like this little Happy Delights page topper down there that I got from an antique book. And in this little pocket here, under that secret journaling spot, it has a little kitty cat from a children's book. There's this fun piece that I pulled out of a 1953 yearbook, and it's still got the autographs on it, so that's really kind of sweet. This is from the 1920s, from Etude magazine. Just really, really beautiful images, and I love all the different fonts that they used. Louisville, Conservatory, Chicago, just all kinds of fascinating and wonderful special pieces there. This is from 1943, this piece here, and you just open it up and you can journal on the inside. I love the original staple marks there. There's a receipt here from 1953 from the Bond Bread Bakers. And I tried to say it 3 times fast and almost made it. Little children's book page here. I love the graphics at the top and the color. These little twin boys running around on the farm. And some vintage book chart paper that I hand stamped and just put a cluster on the other side. This is from the California Troubadour poetry book, and some lovely, lovely poems here. I didn't cover them up because I love the poems and I love the color and the design, just everything. Little 1960s, no, sorry, 1950s, this one is. Vintage recipe book, and just another one of these wonderful set of poems. Here is another children's book page, and this is one of those wonderful pieces of that lovely wallpaper border from the 1920s that was hand painted on a roll and laid down in stages. So they would have had, for each color, there would have been a separate roll, and they're very cool. I have a few actually myself, those rolls. This is an original 1940s Arborite Company countertop sample, and what's neat about these ones is they're double-sided. You didn't see that very often. So we have apple green on one side and turquoise, which is my favorite color, on the other, and really cool design there. So you can have lots of fun with that, repurposing that. And here's another one of these wonderful yearbook pieces here, just tucked into a little pocket, and you can journal here and back here as well. I've added lots of antique paper there. And I made this pocket out of a 1950s stamp collector's book page. And here is a plate out of a 1950s art book. Isn't that neat? Discovery of Algeria, that one is. I really quite like that, and it's actually, the print is of Hamburg. So that's kind of lovely. Some hand stamping there. Some more 1920s banknotes here, and a vintage playing card that you can upcycle and repurpose. Just a wonderful page out of the home economics book from the 50s, or 40s, house cleaning. That was wonderful. This came from another vintage recipe book, and I just made this out of a vintage dictionary, and that's from 1899, that piece there. And that's a journaling tag and an early 1900s page behind it. Just another fun recipe there. Nice little cluster. And this is just the best uh, kids camp from 1930. Isn't that awesome? I guess camps never change. Give them a lake and a slide and they're good to go. These are pages from the original book here. Look how beautifully colored they are. I just love them. There's that 1953 yearbook page again. And more of these wonderful pages. Home Sweet Home at Last. I just thought that was awesome. I didn't want to touch it because I just love that title so much. This is a hand-typed piece about an article in the Halifax News. And it's about, I believe, the friendship between the Democratic Party and Canadians, or the Americans. I don't know. I haven't read it from start to finish. I just really wanted to get this done. And this is a really sweet. I was going to put antique paper on both sides, but this poem is so sweet, I wanted to leave it alone. It's really quite sweet about the days of the week. And I made the pocket here out of a very old doily. Love it. That's just a really cool thing I pulled out of a 1950s newspaper. It's got a nurse there. And Nielsen's Chocolate Factory. This is the hand-typed recipe for chocolate fudge. And it's got chocolate stains all over it, which is just awesome. This came out of a children's book. You draw that school from an art class. Antique paper here. Early 1900s black and white botanical pages here. And this is from a 1965 Beacon Lodge attendance roll call. And this is Howard and Castle plate. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Obviously it is English because they're charging 5 shillings and 6 shillings for those books. Mother Goose from the 30s. Wonderful little full page spread there. And another, the Quaker Bonnets, these beautiful girls with their beautiful outfits. And another children's book page. There's, oh, mud pies from the Nielsen factory. Wonderful. And another lovely children's book page here with rainbows and monkeys. 1950s receipt. And here's another lovely little children's book page. Fun with a little dolly. Put some antique paper on the back for journaling. And just slipped it into this pocket here. There we go. And an early 1900s practical wood carving book. And this is a vintage botanical page. And an antique music sheet. And I love this, A New Friend. That title actually came from a page in this book. And that brings us to the end. So I'm going to put that up on Etsy now. I hope you'll visit hyperstamper.etsy.com. And don't forget to subscribe so you can see them first. Bye for now.